Africa is home to some of the world's wealthiest countries, and by 2023, much of this wealth is expected to increase. The richest country in Africa is forecast to be Nigeria, with a gross domestic product, GDP, of $996.2 billion in 2023 due to the country's large population size, which is expected to grow by nearly 40 million people in the next 4 years. Nigeria boasts a robust economy, particularly in the oil and gas sector, which is expected to expand due to new investments. This will ensure that oil and gas revenues remain an important source of income for the country. Other sources of wealth for Nigeria include manufacturing, technology, and the real estate sector. These will likely be supplemented by increased foreign investments from wealthy countries into Nigeria. This will create more jobs and help to stimulate economic growth in the country. South Africa is expected to be the second richest African country in 2023, with a GDP of $765.3 billion. The country is home to a diverse economy, with significant contributions from the industrial and service sectors. It is also the continent's largest producer of gold, diamonds, and other natural resources. The agricultural sector is also an important contributor to South Africa's economy, and will likely remain so in the future. Ethiopia, another large African nation, is expected to be the third richest nation in 2023 with a GDP of $257.3 billion. Ethiopia's economy is heavily reliant on agriculture, making it particularly vulnerable to changes in weather and climate. In recent years, however, the country has seen a growth in the manufacturing and services sectors, as well as increases in foreign investments. Other major African economies, such as Egypt and Algeria, are also expected to see increases in GDP by 2023. However, their economies are heavily dependent on revenues from the oil and gas industries, which can be unreliable. Despite these challenging economic conditions, African countries are expected to experience steady economic growth in the coming years. By 2023, Nigeria is expected to remain the richest country in Africa, with South Africa and Ethiopia close behind. This will require continued economic reforms and encouragement of foreign investment into the continent's most promising economies. India, China, and other Asian powers are expected to become major investors in African nations by 2023. This will likely spur further growth in African economies and enable more countries to become self-sufficient and prosperous. African leaders should seize this opportunity and invest in their respective economies to prepare for this surge in wealth. It is also important for African nations to support each other through trade agreements and increased cooperation. This will ensure that the continent can continue its momentum and become an even wealthier and more prosperous region by 2023.